Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome, and welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this past week we had Royal Rumble 2024 live from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's get into it. The opening match was the Women's Royal Rumble, where obviously it's 30 women, so I cannot sit here and go through every single woman who was in it, but I can tell you it started with Natalya and returning Naomi. And also the surprise entrance. Not only did we have Naomi, who is fresh out of TNA, being Trinity and a former Knockouts champion, but we also got the current TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, making an appearance because, as we know, it's been publicly stated that TNA and WWE right now are having a working arrangement. Another surprise entrance was R-Truth, who came out as Valhalla was coming out, and very quickly got eliminated and informed that this was the women's rumble, not men's. So I'll give him that. It was funny. We had Jade Cargill making her in-ring debut in WWE, and of course them overselling her, just like they did in AEW. And we also had the returning Liv Morgan, who came in at number 30, back from injury. So that's awesome. Right off the bat, I will say that I like that they didn't oversaturate this year's Women's Royal Rumble with a bunch of returning legends and stuff. Like, it's fun to have that in a little bit, like one or two, but when you oversaturate the Rumble with legends, it's just like, okay, great, they're here, we know they're not going to win. If they ever wanted to swerve us, that should be what they do. Have a returning legend come in and actually win the Royal Rumble. But either way, since they're not going to do that, it was nice that we didn't have a bunch of that. And it came down to the final three being Jade Cargill, Liv Morgan, and Bayley. Bayley, who had been there almost the entire Rumble, she came in at number 3. So I love that because, again, there's that wonderment of, like, how's this going to go? Is it going to be the one returning from injury, Liv Morgan? Is it going to be Jade Cargill, the one making her debut, that they're overrating? Or is it going to be Bayley, who has a natural storyline going here? She could turn on Damage Control and challenge Io Sky. She could try to strengthen Damage Control by getting all the women's gold, because right now the only one they don't have on the main rosters is the Women's World Championship. She could challenge for that one. As of this filming, who knows? We'll see. All three of them went out under the apron, adding to the drama, and Liv Morgan was able to knock off Jade Cargill, but then she was immediately knocked off by Bayley, making Bayley this year's Women's Royal Rumble winner. And again, the story that's going to happen, either way, it works, it's great, and I can't wait to see her at WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble is always a really great match unless you have just the worst winner ever. I'm not going to lie, personally I was worried they were going to give it to Jade Cargill and I would have had to take it down a notch, but as it stands, a 5 out of 5. Then a fatal 4-way for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, which I was extremely surprised that they made this the second match. I would have understood if it was first, last, or even just right before the Men's Royal Rumble. But second? Whatever. Wasn't all that into it anyway. The fatal 4-way of Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight versus champion Roman Reigns. And every time Roman Reigns has been wrestling for quite a while now, my big complaint is that every match is the same. So I was a little happy when they said, okay, fatal 4-way, because I was like, they can't exactly do the same thing. This is WWE we're talking about. Randy Orton RKO'd everybody in the match, including Roman Reigns, was about to get the win, and out comes Solo Sikoa. Which at that point, you could pretty much predict what was going to happen. He interfered for Roman Reigns, he beat a couple people up, they overpowered him, but it gave Roman Reigns time to get momentum, get the spear on one of his opponents, this time AJ Styles, get the pin, and retain the championship. Because, oh my goodness, we have not seen this every freaking match for at least a couple years now. It was as disappointing as every other Roman Reigns match has been, again, for the last couple years. They're few and far in between, and yet they give us the same crap every single freaking time, to the point that I can't even care. 1 out of 5. Then, for the United States Championship, Kevin Owens versus champion Logan Paul, in his first title defense since early November. Because part-time champions. And amidst a match where, again, the commentary team, which for the Royal Rumble and then was announced the next night, will be permanent, Pat McAfee was on. They're sitting there praising Logan Paul, telling everybody at home how wonderful he is and why we should like him, because they don't want to listen to us saying, we don't care how much we should like him. We don't. He's a douche. Basically started going the same way as the last couple Logan Paul matches. His lackey came out. They say his name, but he's not important enough for me to learn it. But this time he got stopped by security, so out came Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, who've also been feuding with Kevin Owens. And they slipped Logan Paul some brass knuckles. So in some way, again, we're getting the same thing we've seen a couple of times now. So Logan Paul is going to be the new Roman Reigns. Except this time, I will say they did swerve it a little bit. Because whereas Logan Paul tried to use the brass knuckles, Kevin Owens got a hold of them, hit Logan Paul with them, was about to get the 3 count when the referee noticed the brass knuckles. So the referee, of course, disqualified Kevin Owens, making the winner and still the United States champion, Logan Paul. Whereas I'm happy they did something a little bit different. I don't like part-timers being the champion. I don't like Logan Paul being a wrestler at all. I don't like him being the United States champion. And to me, they could have just given him his moment in the sun. He got the United States title, take it right off of him. But no, instead we got to get more of this garbage until WrestleMania at least. Hopefully not past, but at this point, another 1 out of 5. Then the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble. Where again, I can't go into every participant in there. That's just too many. But interestingly, it started with both Jay and Jimmy Uso. And then some of the surprise entrants, we got the return of Andrade. As we know, he's out of AEW. He has signed a new contract with WWE, probably because he wants to be with his wife. Whatever. And he made a great entrance. Hopefully, this run in WWE will go a lot better than his last one. Because I definitely think he can do a lot more than they ever did with him. Another surprise entrant, while he was on commentary, they start playing Pat McAfee's music. And then he gets into the ring and 38 seconds later eliminates himself. And those were actually the only 2 surprise entrants. And the final 2 came down to Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Which, again, I like when I don't know who's going to win. Are they going to give it to CM Punk, who's long gone on that the only 2 things that he still had left to do in WWE was win a Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania? Or we're going to give it to Cody Rhodes, who needs to finish the story? Well, these 2 wrestled back and forth for a while. Wasn't like a quick elimination thing, but eventually Cody Rhodes was able to eliminate CM Punk, winning the Royal Rumble again, becoming only the 4th person in history, and as they mentioned, the first one in over 20 years to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles. He's in there with Austin, Michaels, Hogan. It's a very elite club. And then afterwards, not only did he point to the WrestleMania sign, he pointed straight to Roman Reigns, making it clear who he wanted to wrestle. Till the next night. But we'll get into that in a second. As far as the Men's Royal Rumble goes, it was good, but I don't think it was as exciting as the Women's. But it had a great ending. I would still very easily give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah! So, Royal Rumble 2024 overall was okay. It wasn't great. First of all, there were only 4 matches, including the 2 Royal Rumbles. Which, I've gone on record before to say that it's one thing I do think WWE does right. Fewer matches, giving them more time. But in this case, it was a little too few. I feel like they could have squeezed in 1 more. Not to mention the 2 matches they gave us in between the Royal Rumbles were incredibly lackluster. We had a Roman Reigns title match, which again, bothers me very much that it was number 2 on the card. Like, how did you have the US title match come on after the Universal title match? That really just doesn't make any sense to me. And not only that, but like everybody else, I don't get excited for Roman Reigns matches anymore. Because they end the same. We know dang well the only place he's ever going to lose that title is at WrestleMania. And right now they keep teasing, is it going to be him and The Rock or him and Cody Rhodes? Most of us do not want to see him and The Rock over the title. Especially because if The Rock came in and won the title from Roman Reigns, that would be like spitting on every one of the wrestlers that has fought Roman Reigns in the last 3 years. However, if Roman Reigns wins and carries the title for another year, we're going to have another boring year of Roman Reigns as champion, where every match goes the same. Somebody starts to win, his family comes in and stops them, he gets the upper hand and wins. I don't even have to watch the matches anymore to know how they're going to go. The next night on Raw, Seth Rollins came out and was basically trying to convince Cody Rhodes to pick him instead of Roman Reigns, because they're trying to boost that World Heavyweight Championship more and try to tell us that it's just as, if not more, prestigious than Roman Reigns' title, even though nobody's buying it. And as of this filming, we don't know yet which one Cody Rhodes is going to pick. Do they want Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins again, which ultimately we've seen that a few times already. Yeah, we've seen him and Roman Reigns, but a rematch is due. But even then, even if Cody Rhodes does pick Roman Reigns, goes on to WrestleMania, now there's the worry, is he going to finally win the title and get this boring title reign over with already? Or are they just going to swerve us again and have Roman Reigns win again and have him go on to be the champion for yet another year? Giving us the same thing we get every single time for another year. But even if they don't swerve us and Cody Rhodes goes to WrestleMania as Roman Reigns' opponent and wins the title, it'll be nice, but a little lackluster because it should have happened already. This whole year of WWE has sucked, in my opinion. It's been awful because it's just been the same crap over and over and over again. The same crap we're bored of over and over and over again. And I did take a little slight from Michael Cole at the end of Roman Reigns matches, telling fans, complain if you want to, basically talking to those of us who come on here and say we don't like this. Screw you, Michael Cole. We're allowed not to like you guys giving us the same crap over and over and over again, and we're allowed to dislike it when you try to tell us what we like instead of listening to what we like. The other non-Royal Rumble match they had was Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens, which I can't get excited for any Logan Paul match. Just like nobody can get really that excited for any Logan Paul match because nobody likes Logan Paul. The only people who like Logan Paul are douchebags like Logan Paul. Seriously, I've met 3 people who actually like Logan Paul in real life. And all 3 of them are the kind of people you would expect to like Logan Paul. They are douchebags like Logan Paul. So ultimately, them giving him a title was a bad idea in my opinion. Them letting him retain that title, bad idea in my opinion. I don't like Logan Paul. I'm not going to give him a chance. I don't care how good of a wrestler he is, which is another thing. They keep trying to tell us how wonderfully great he is. He's not. He's okay. Honestly, he just does everybody else's moves a little sloppy. So honestly, it's kind of like watching a good backyard wrestler. And a good backyard wrestler is like a good vegan meal. Even if it's kind of good, still kind of sucks. So basically, in this Royal Rumble, the only thing worth watching were the Royal Rumble matches, which is not good. Usually in Royal Rumbles, the other matches, the title matches and stuff are worth watching. In this case, they really weren't. If you're one of the people who've yet to watch Royal Rumble, you're taking your time to watch it, I would honestly suggest skip those 2 matches because they're pointless. Just watch the 2 Royal Rumble matches. They were good enough to where, honestly, I would give Royal Rumble 2024 a 3 out of 5. Yeah! So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post the videos, and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of Royal Rumble 2024. Love you guys.